Before your feet even touch the floor, before you check a single notification, a silent battle is already won or lost. It happens in the quiet space between sleep and wakefulness, in those first fragile moments of consciousness. This is where you make the most critical decision of your day: will you lead, or will you follow? Will you create your reality, or will you consume someone else's? Most people unconsciously choose the latter. They reach for their phone, bathing their fresh, malleable consciousness in a torrent of other people's agendas, bad news, social comparisons, and endless demands. They outsource the state of their mind before they've even claimed ownership of it. They let the world dictate their inner weather. But there is a different path. A ancient one. For over 2,000 years, philosophers, generals, emperors, and artists have practiced a morning ritual not of consumption, but of creation. They understood that the first thoughts you think are like the initial strokes of a painter on a blank canvas. They set the tone for everything that follows. Neuroscience now confirms this ancient wisdom. The state you wake up in, the relaxed, suggestible alpha and theta brainwave states, is prime time for neuroplasticity. Your neural pathways are most receptive to rewiring. The messages you tell yourself in this window don't just feel good, they literally sculpt your brain, setting up your automatic responses, your resilience, and your focus for the next 16 hours. The Stoics, those practical philosophers of ancient Rome and Greece, mastered this. They didn't deal in fluffy affirmations or wishful thinking. They dealt in brutal, empowering, reality-based truths. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, would start his day by writing in his journal not positive quotes, but a stark reminder of the challenges ahead. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself: the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. Why? Not to become cynical, but to become strong. He used this clear-eyed awareness to prepare his mind for strength, not surrender. He was programming his operating system for the day ahead. What if you could do the same? What if you could face any criticism, setback, or uncertainty with a calm, unwavering confidence that makes people wonder what you know that they don't? The ancient Greeks had a word for this: ataraxia, a state of serene calmness, unshackled from worry and distress. This is not something you're born with. It's something you build. One morning at a time. What follows are the 10 declarations. These are not mere phrases to repeat. They are philosophical mantras. They are drills for the mind. Each one targets a specific weakness that keeps people stuck: fear, distraction, emotional reactivity, comparison, and procrastination. This is your manual. Let's begin. 1. I am the author of my emotional state. The principle: radical responsibility. The moment you accept complete and total responsibility for how you feel today, you step into a new realm of power. This is not about blaming yourself for bad things that happen. It is the opposite. It is about claiming your sovereign right to choose your response to anything that happens. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, discovered this truth in the most horrific circumstances imaginable. In the depths of a Nazi concentration camp, where every external freedom was stripped away, he realized one freedom remained: everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. If a man can find this power in a death camp, you can find it in your daily life. Most people live as emotional hostages. Their mood depends on the traffic, the weather, their boss's tone, a stranger's comment, their bank account balance, the number of likes on a post. This is a form of slavery. When you declare, I am responsible for how today feels, you are issuing your declaration of independence. You are saying that your inner peace is not for sale, not for rent, and not subject to the whims of external events. The practice: place your hand on your heart each morning and say this with conviction. Understand that feelings like frustration or disappointment are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. Your power lies not in preventing the storm, but but in choosing how you dance in the rain. 2. Nothing enters my inner peace without my consent. The principle, protected sovereignty. Your mind is a sacred citadel. You are the sole guardian of its gates. Every day, you decide what gets permission to enter and disturb your tranquility. Most people leave their gates wide open, allowing every worry, criticism, and negative headline to march right in and occupy space. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This declaration is you realizing that true power isn't about controlling the world around you, it's about mastering the world within you. When you say, "Nothing can disturb my peace without my permission," you are establishing non-negotiable boundaries for your mental real estate. This doesn't mean becoming emotionless or detached. It means developing the discipline of assent, the ability to process an event without letting it hijack your entire system. Someone can be rude, and you can acknowledge it without letting their rudeness become the soundtrack to your day. The practice: visualize your mind as a fortress. See yourself at the gate. When a stressful thought or external event approaches, you have the power to look at it and say, "You do not have permission to enter. I see you, but you will not define me." This pause, this moment of choice, is where your unshakable nature is born. 3. My focus resides only in my circle of control. The principle, focused intentionality. The fastest path to anxiety and helplessness is trying to control the uncontrollable. Every day, people pour vast amounts of mental energy into other people's opinions, the past, the future, market fluctuations, and politics, things they have zero influence over. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, born a slave, laid out the fundamental dichotomy of control. What I can control: my actions, my opinions, my efforts, my responses, my values. What I cannot control: everything else. Most people have this backwards. They neglect their own garden to worry about the weather. When you declare, "Today I focus only on what I can control," you are making a strategic decision to invest your precious energy where it can actually generate a return. You move from anxiety to action, from helplessness to agency. The practice. Mentally draw 3 circles. Inner circle, control your effort, your attitude, your schedule. Middle circle, influence your persuasion, your requests, your relationships. Outer circle, know control the news, the economy, other people's choices. Direct 90% of your focus to the inner circle. This is where your power lives. 4. My worth is inherent, not conditional. The principle, unshakable self-worth. We are conditioned to measure our value by our performance. Our self-worth becomes a roller coaster, soaring with a success, plummeting with a failure. We tie our identity to outcomes: "I am a failure," instead of "I failed at this task." The Stoic philosopher Seneca, who faced exile and was forced to commit suicide, understood that external circumstances are fleeting. Your core value is not. He wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Your worth transcends any single outcome. Declaring, "My worth is not measured by today's outcomes," is you breaking the performance trap. You are separating your effort from your identity. You can strive for excellence with every fiber of your being without staking your sense of self on the result. The practice: every morning, affirm that you are valuable simply because you exist. You are a work in progress, and a single day's results are just data, they are not your report card. You can be disappointed by an outcome without being devastated by it. 5. My actions, not my intentions, will define my day. The principle, the primacy of action. The chasm between knowing what to do and actually doing it is where dreams are buried. We are brilliant architects of plans and pathetic builders of them. We confuse intention with action. Marcus Aurelius jolted himself awake with this thought: "In the morning, when thou risest unwillingly, let this thought be present: I am rising to the work of a human being." He knew that virtue is not a concept, it is an action. Declaring, I will act, not just intend, is a vow to become a person of execution. It is choosing messy progress over perfect planning. It is understanding that motivation follows action, not the other way around. The practice, shift your language from, I should, or I want to I will. Create implementation intentions. When situation X arises, I will do Y. Don't wait to feel like it. Do it because you committed to it. Action is the antidote to anxiety. 6. Every obstacle is fuel for my growth. The principle, alchemical adversity. The common view sees obstacles as misfortunes to be avoided. The Stoic view sees them as the very training ground we need. A muscle doesn't get stronger without resistance. Character doesn't deepen without challenge. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Admiral James Stockdale, a POW in Vietnam for 7 years, credited Stoicism for his survival. He said you must retain faith that you will prevail in the end, while simultaneously confronting the most brutal facts of your current reality. When you declare, every challenge is a chance to grow stronger, you are reframing your entire relationship with difficulty. You stop asking, why is this happening to me, and start asking, what is this preparing me for? What can this teach me? The practice, when faced with a setback, pause. Instead of reacting with frustration, get curious. Ask. How can this make me more resilient? What skill is this forcing me to develop? How is this revealing a weakness I can now address? Welcome the grind. It is forging you. 7. My journey is mine alone, I renounce comparison. The principle, authentic alignment. Comparison is a sickness of the modern age, amplified by social media. We compare our raw, unedited behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. This theft of joy is also a theft of energy and focus. Epictetus warned, how much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only to what he does himself. Your path is unique. Your starting line, your resources, your challenges, and your definition of success are yours alone. Trying to run someone else's race is a guarantee of frustration and failure. Declaring, I will not compare my journey to anyone else's, is a vow of fidelity to your own path. It is choosing to be inspired by others instead of intimidated by them. It is understanding that your only valid comparison is to the person you were yesterday. The practice, curate your input. Unfollow accounts that trigger your comparison reflex. Celebrate others' successes genuinely, it proves what's possible. Spend time defining what success actually means to you, not to your family, your peers, or society. 8. Discipline is my engine, motivation is a fickle passenger. The principle, unwavering consistency. If you only act when you feel motivated, you will live a life of staggering inconsistency. Motivation is an emotion, it comes and goes like the weather. Discipline is a value, it is a non-negotiable commitment to your own word. The Stoics revered discipline. Cato the Younger would walk barefoot through Rome in winter to harden his resolve. They knew that comfort is the enemy of growth and that discipline is the bridge between a goal and its achievement. Declaring, I choose discipline over motivation, is you firing the unreliable manager of your life, your feelings, and hiring a steadfast CEO, your commitment. You are deciding to show up for your goals whether you feel like it or not. The practice, make your commitments small and non-negotiable. Don't commit to working out, commit to putting on my shoes and walking out the door. The action will often follow. Discipline is a muscle, start with light weights and build. Your feelings will catch up later. 9. I will see this day through a lens of gratitude. The principle, abundant perspective. Your experience of life is shaped by what you pay attention to. You can focus on what's missing, scarcity, or what's present, abundance. Gratitude is not a denial of life's problems, it is a conscious choice to acknowledge the good that exists alongside them. Seneca practiced negative visualization, consciously imagining the loss of what he had to appreciate it more deeply. He understood that taking things for granted is a sure path to dissatisfaction. Neuroscience shows that gratitude practice physically rewires the brain, strengthening neural pathways for positivity and resilience. Declaring, "Gratitude will shape how I see today," is you choosing your perceptual lens. You are training your brain to scan for evidence of good, for things to appreciate, the functioning of your body, the roof over your head, the simple beauty of a morning. The practice: keep a gratitude journal. Before you even get out of bed, name 3 specific things you are grateful for. They can be profound, your health, or simple, the taste of coffee. This sets your brain to a frequency of abundance for the entire day. 10. I will close this day a better human than I opened it. The principle: continuous improvement. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. The compound effect of getting 1% better every day is transformational. A 1% daily improvement leads to being 37 times better in a year. Seneca ended his day with a rigorous review. He would ask himself, "What bad habit did I curb today? How was I better? Where did I let myself down? What can I improve tomorrow?" This wasn't self-punishment, it was a systems check. It was about closing the feedback loop and ensuring that no day was truly wasted, because even a failure yielded a lesson. Declaring, "I will end this day better than I started," turns every day into a classroom. It makes you an active participant in your own growth. It means that even on the hardest days, you can find one lesson, 1 ounce of added strength, 1 moment of practiced patience. The practice: perform a nightly review. Take 2 minutes before sleep to ask, what was one win today? What was one challenge? What is one lesson I can take from today into tomorrow? This seals the day with purpose and prepares your subconscious for a better tomorrow. Conclusion: the compound effect of dawn. These 10 declarations are not a quick fix. They are a discipline. They are the daily calisthenics for the mind. You won't be perfect at them. Some days you will feel like a fraud while saying them. Say them anyway. Start with 1. Let it be the anchor of your morning for a week. Then add another. These are the threads you will use to weave the tapestry of an unshakable life, a life of purpose, resilience, and profound inner peace. You have been given a manual that has guided emperors and slaves, admirals and artists. The philosophy is battle-tested. It works. The only question that remains is, will you have the discipline to use it? Your morning awaits.